Broadcasting live across the southern plains from the Tornado Bunker in the McRoof World Headquarters. The McRoof Radio Network brings you Home Repair McRoof Style. I'm Rick Allen Lippert here with restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCollum. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Mr. Rick.
And the wizard on the other side of the curtain, we would like to welcome for the first time to the show, Radio Randy.
Good morning.
All right. Hey, and folks out there, I want you to know that Radio Randy has been in this business so long, we could actually call him Retro Radio Randy.
That would be exactly correct.
Anyway, Retro Radio Randy is the wizard on the other side of the curtain, and he will be the one you talk to when you call 405-656-5868. 405-656-5868. We'll start the show with our trivia question, and the tool of the week, and as always, we're taking your home repair questions. That number again, 405-656-5868. In the second half of the show, we'll have our What Were They Thinking segment. Scott, you didn't send me the title of this week's story.
Well, you know, I was just really thinking about that, and Myrtle's had so many problems lately, I thought I was going to give her the week off.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I think we're going to talk a little bit about a job that we were doing this week and something we ran into there, and I just didn't title it, Rick. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's good. That's all right. Hey, it's your show.
Hey, there you go. Hey, I got a question for you.
Okay.
I'm looking here on our rundown sheet, and I see the show number and the date. Did I not change that? So we're approaching 200 shows.
We are.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, show number 196.
Can't believe they kept me around that long.
Yeah. Yeah. So then in the third half of the show, we'll have our After the Storm tip, and we'll wrap up with some very wise words from Scott's dad. I'm not sure. Did your dad really say this?
Did my dad really? Absolutely, my dad said that.
I can't wait. It's a good one, I'll tell you that. And coming back from breaks, we'll have some very obscure historical trivia.
Beatles?
No Beatles today, but we're in the same ballpark for the very last piece of trivia.
Okay. All righty.
The McRoof Radio Network includes KOKC in Oklahoma City, KPNS in Lawton, KNSS in Wichita, now KAKC in Tulsa. And wherever you are, you can call 405-656-5868. And I swear one of these days we'll get LV in Alva, just one of these days.
So is that on your end or is that on their end?
Yes.
Yes, okay, very good. We'll leave it at that.
So, Scott, what's your trivia question this week?
Okay, the trivia question for this week, it's getting a little bit cooler outside.
Yeah.
Everybody noticed this morning, I'm sure.
Oh, my goodness.
So the ambient temperatures that I recommend for most outdoor projects, including roofing, painting, masonry, or concrete, just as examples, what is that temperature that we're looking for to feel like we're safe undertaking any of those kinds of projects?
And you have mentioned this many times before. Actually, this was a trivia question about 3-4 weeks ago. Yeah.
It was?
It was. You sent it to me as a question.
Oh, man, I better start keeping up with my trivia questions then. So we should say that whoever won 3 or 4 weeks ago, we can't let them be the winner this time, right?
I'll look it up here in a moment and tell you who, because the guy finally got it.
All right.
So while we're waiting for someone to call with that magic number of degrees Fahrenheit to 405.
Oh, maybe that's what we should do. We should make it Celsius. Then it's a different trivia question.
Stump the entire country.
Get a mathematician out there.
405-656-5868. So the tool of the week this week, I chose, just because they're popular, the Purdy, P-U-R-D-Y, brand of 4-inch paint roller.
Okay, I wondered if it was going to be a roller or brush or what it was going to be.
And
I knew
of course,
where you were going with that.
And I went with the 4-inch because Purdy also makes the roller covers.
Sure.
And I chose this because of what was going on at Carpenter Square Theater
so there's some
week.
detail work going on.
We're doing cabinets.
Oh, okay.
We bought some cabinets from a big box store for our bar.
Okay.
And we've made the bar, and that was 11 feet worth of cabinet that they put some laminate on for a countertop, and that's our working bar. But then the back bar stuff, we have now 3 5-foot cabinets, base cabinets, and then and one of them is a 5-footer, and then one will be a 10-foot back bar cabinet, and then 4 30-inch wall cabinets. So we'll have a lot of storage back there in the bar.
Okay.
And so the guys were painting them yesterday. So
All
they
right.
took all the doors off and laid them out so they could paint them. And they're doing brush work around the edges because, there's a lot of corners and stuff. But then they got out this little 4-inch paint roller.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, ding, 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 there's our tool of the week, a little 4-inch paint roller. Now, this sucker's only $7.
I was going to say, it's not very expensive.
No,
Yeah.
not much at all. $7 for the Purdy 4-inch mini paint roller. 2-pack of roller covers was, about $10. Not very much. And so that's our tool of the week.
I like Purdy products. It's like anything else that we talk about, whether it's, watching a carpenter work or a painter work or a concrete finisher, anything like that. You want to see people that have the right tools for the job.
Exactly.
And I'm going to just tell you that cheap is usually just that. It's cheap.
My goodness,
okay?
yeah.
Invest in quality implements, quality tools, and you're going to get a much better finished product as a result of that.
Well,
I like the Purdy products.
As we talk about so much on this show, price versus value.
That's
cost
exactly
versus
right.
value.
Exactly
So,
right.
also a carpenter. Oh,
no, go ahead.
Well, the only other thing really to talk about at Carpenter Square, because the electricians haven't come back yet to finish wiring everything, we don't know when we're going to see them again. We had to postpone our January 7th opening to a date uncertain in the future. Just don't know when we'll be opening. I'm hoping March.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping for March. We're so close, and yet we're just so far
Yet
away.
so far. Isn't there a song?
Something about that. So getting back to the tool of the week, I did put it on the Home Repair McRoof Style Facebook page, so you can see a picture of it.
Now, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
Why did you guys opt for unfinished cabinets instead of pre-finished cabinets?
So we could paint them the color we wanted them.
Okay. Yeah, white wasn't going to cut it.
Well, they come pre-finished in white and gray, but it's a kind of a plastic thing, and they're cheaper, and that's a big A, and then secondly, we can paint them the color we want them.
Okay.
But really, it's a cost thing. I mean, we're just a struggling community theater.
Just wondering. There is cost is more than just dollars.
Right.
Okay. Cost is time.
Right.
Cost is that human resource that you have that's our most limited resource.
Sure.
Okay. And if they can be doing something else instead of painting cabinets, that's where I was coming from.
Well,
so just curious.
We do have the benefit of several volunteers.
There you go.
And so it gives the volunteers.
And that's something they like to do.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And that way, whenever they come to the theater, once we finally open, they'll be able to point to their wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever and say, I painted that cabinet.
Now, let me ask you this. Those volunteers, you let them do painting. I know you said that you left the carpet tiles 3 or 4 feet away from the walls so that you could finish the walls.
Yeah, and we've done that now. So the carpet tiles are all where actually we took delivery of the metal that was donated by W&W Steel. Mm-hmm. They donated all the metal that we built the seating tiers out of, and now they've donated the metal for the bar rail.
Railings,
so,
sure.
Well, it's handrails and bar rails because in our theater, unlike any other theater in town, there'll be a little 4-inch wide tabletop right in front of your seat that you put your drink on. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to put your drink on the floor to knock it over, and then someone has to clean it up. So you have a little bar rail right there in front of you. There'll be a purse hook at every seat. Yeah. And this is with extra leg room because we're giving you almost 5 feet between rows.
Right. That's
planning for the airborne contaminants. Mm-hmm. So there's that.
Yeah.
And when we open, it's going to be fantastic.
I got you. Well, we had a great week this week.
Good.
And, did a boral stone-coated steel project this
Ooh.
week. Turned out beautifully. Just, really, the homeowner was really excited to see it as it started, and when it was finished, she was just oohing and ahhing. So that's what we always like to get.
Yeah.
And finished up a couple of our wood shake jobs down in Norman, Oklahoma. In the Brookhaven area, so
I bet those were taken out in the big storms back in the spring.
They were, and in fact, some of those roofs had just been replaced. We had a wood shake roof that we replaced last fall. That we just got done replacing again. We actually had a Da Vinci roof that, even though it's a Class 4, and I want to talk about that a little bit, folks, later on in the show, but had a Da Vinci roof, which is your synthetic, of course, the hail damaged all of the metal valleys and all the metal accessories and things like that. To replace those, to replace flashings and everything, you have to remove part of the synthetic, part of the Da Vinci.
Right.
So that becomes, even though it is a Class 4 impact-resistant roof, it still doesn't mean that you're not going to have some things that you have to deal with in a big hailstorm like that.
All right.
So anyway.
So you have coming up tonight the Honoring America's Warriors holiday get-together.
We do. We're really looking forward to that. So we've got, 25, 30 families and, gifts for all of them, and a great barbecue dinner, and just a good time. We're, I don't know how many of the McRoof folks are going. We're looking forward to it. They're going to have a crazy sweater contest and all that kind of ugly sweater contest. So Wanda thinks that I should try to win that. So anyway, who knows? We'll see what happens. But yeah, we're looking forward to that. I will tell you, I hadn't been to see the Nutcracker. Wanda and I were trying to figure out exactly when the last time we saw the Nutcracker was. Probably, I don't know, I think we've come up with about 15 to 18 years ago, something like that. Okay, in Dallas.
Right.
Well, we took our McRoof family out last weekend.
Oh, nice.
And we went to see the Nutcracker.
All right.
In the music hall.
Oh, my.
And I tell you what, everybody just thoroughly enjoyed. And my son walked out there. He said, "Dad, I didn't expect to enjoy this."
Right.
And he walked out. He said, "That was phenomenal." I mean, he was amazed at the quality, the athleticism, of the dancers and of the performers and all. The music, the symphony was phenomenal.
Right.
The sets were phenomenal. I mean, absolutely, my favorite Nutcracker ever, downtown Oklahoma City. I think it's, I think it runs through the 19th. Might still be a chance of somebody getting some tickets.
Could be.
Yeah. What's today? The 17th?
Today's the 18th.
18th. Yeah. So that would make sense through tomorrow.
Tomorrow's matinee.
I think my math. I think my calendar's probably right. So anyway, well worth the. Yeah.
Good.
So that was super.
So in the 45 seconds we have left before we go to break, Honoring America's Warriors. This is an organization you've supported since they got started.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
What's their purpose?
Well, they really are there for our wounded veterans and our veterans that have things that they deal with that the rest of us could never understand.
Right.
And bringing them together in a community that can support one another, primarily through activities in the field. A lot of it is hunting and fishing and Bigfoot searches and just things like that. But it's really a matter of bringing them together in a group of people that can love and support them, be there for them to help them through the issues that they deal with day-to-day life that none of the rest of us could ever even comprehend.
And we'll hear more about Honoring America's Warriors coming up later in the show. But now it is time for us to do a little business. I'd like to remind everybody you're listening to Home Repair McRoof Style on the McRoof Radio Network. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. We're in studio live with restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. Retro Radio Randy answering the phones when you call 405-656-5868. Our trivia question is still hanging out there. What is the ambient temperature that Scott recommends for most outdoor projects, including roofing, painting, masonry, and concrete. This is the McRoof Radio Network.
I'm here for my good friends Brad at Brad's Heating and Air Conditioning. Folks, they've been serving the greater metro for almost 40 years. All brands of heating and air conditioning equipment, installation and service on those. They're a certified American Standard dealer. They've had great reviews from their customers and also from our listeners who have chosen to use them. For that furnace checkup or for those air quality concerns, give Brad a call. 405-799-7823, 405-799-7823, or bradsheatandair.com. Tell them McRoof sent you.
That they can't find anybody out there to inspect their roof or to just fix a leak. You started RoofRx to remedy that issue, didn't you?
Well, I did. Roofers are in the business to replace roofs. They're not in the business to inspect, repair, or maintain them.
So what's so different about RoofRx then?
Well, RoofRx is a standalone company totally separate from McRoof. The inspectors are trained professionals armed with knowledge and technology. They are not roofing salespeople. Our repairs are guaranteed for life, and we offer a money-back guarantee.
Wow, that sounds great, but I'll bet you're booked up for months out.
No, sir, we're generally no more than a week or so out, and of course we get on emergencies a whole lot faster than that. Get on our list by calling Carly at 405-877-ROOF or online at roof-rx.com.
Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army and was stationed at Fort Bliss, Texas. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy was the pilot of a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy. November 11, 1943, Homer and his crew, along with 31 other bombers, flew a mission to destroy a ball bearing plant in occupied France. On the return trip, a mechanical failure caused the plane to drop out of formation, leaving the Yankee Doodle Dandy vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109 shot the plane down near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board. The others parachuted. 1 was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 21 years of service with numerous awards and citations, not to mention the Purple Heart. Homer Stacy. Homer Stacy McCullum. Scott McCullum's dad. Scott McCullum is McRoof. McRoof is owned and operated by the McCullum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to improve or repair your property, call 855-766-3405. Ask for a no-cost roof assessment and home inspection. That's McRoof, 855-766-3405. That's McRoof.
And Home Repair McRoof Style, back on the air for the second half of the show. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. We're live in studio with restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. Retro Radio Randy answering the phones to 405-656-5868. Our trivia question still hanging out there. What is the ambient temperature that Scott recommends for most outdoor projects, including roofing, painting, masonry, or concrete? 405-656-5868. Interesting, obscure, historical trivia time. On this date in 1718, Thomas Fleet published Mother Goose's Melodies for Children in Boston. On this date in 1796, the first newspaper to appear on Sunday happened was published in Baltimore. It was called the Baltimore Monitor. And Scott, speaking of the Nutcracker,
Okay.
on this date in 1892, Tchaikovsky's ballet, The Nutcracker, premiered in St. Petersburg, Florida. And then just for good measure on this date, the 1958 Project SCORE, which was the world's first communication satellite launched from Cape Canaveral.
Wow.
And that one, I just threw that one in because we may not be using any satellite technology right now, but it's certainly an important part of the communications diaspora.
Oh my gosh. Did you hear that, Randy?
Can he spell that?
I can, but I'd rather not. And I'm not sure I even used it correctly. But
I was going to say.
I heard somebody use it on the radio the other day, and I thought, I can use that word too.
May I chime in a point here? You mentioned Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker premiering on the state in 1892 in St. Petersburg, Florida. I would say it is St. Petersburg, Russia.
Did I say Florida?
You did.
Well, I stand corrected, and I thank you for that. I looked up from my paper because I was on autopilot.
And you know what's so funny is I was reading as you were speaking.
Yeah.
And of course I read St. Petersburg, Russia, so I did not hear you say.
Yeah, you didn't hear me say
St.
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, it wasn't St. Petersburg, Florida. It was 1892. I don't think St. Petersburg, Florida would have supported a ballet back then.
That's funny.
Okay, so I'd like to remind everybody that you can listen to this show on the internet. You don't have to be in the car. We're live streaming. Never mind. We're on the iHeartRadio app. If you go through KOKC, you can get to the iHeartRadio app. And then the Odyssey, AUDACY, Odyssey, you can get to the show by going through KNSS. And we have a caller on the line. We have a couple of callers on the line.
Let's get to it.
Let's
That's great.
first talk to Tony. Hello, Tony. Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Hey, Tony, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fantastic, sir. Thanks for calling.
Good. A little chilly out in the garage.
A little bit, but the sun's shining, so that feels good.
Yeah. I'm in Wichita.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
I got you.
I listen to your show every week. If I recall correctly, the answer to your question in Fahrenheit is 40 and rising.
You got it,
That's
Tony.
it.
40 and rising. That's absolutely right. Hey, I don't want you to jump off, okay? I want you to stay on for a minute. So,
Well, I have another point anyway.
okay,
that I've been
good.
waiting for week after week. It seems I listened to the whole show week after week, and I never heard it answered. Was dollar waiting on a donut?
Oh, thank you, Tony.
Waiting on a donut.
I'd forgotten about that.
We should make that a trivia question at some point. What did my dad mean by dollar waiting on a donut?
Why don't you just go ahead and tell us now?
So here's how I get it, Tony. It typically would come up when my dad and I were, when my dad was doing a project and I was getting in the way.
Right.
Okay, as a young tyke, kind of learning the way around and things. And, there'd be a comment like, geez, son, Christmas was slow, but it gets here, sooner or later, that kind of thing. And I think the dollar waiting on a donut, my dad would be the dollar, meaning that his time was of some value, and I was the donut, which was basically worthless and weighing him down. Okay? That's kind of my take on it. Dollar waiting on a donut. That's about the best I've ever been able to make of it, and unfortunately I can't ask my dad what he meant, but I remember that expression, and my son has grown up with that expression as well, and that's the meaning that that's the meaning we've attached to it. So
it may be regional. When I was an apprentice plumber in Idaho, my journeyman would always say, because he could do it faster than I could.
There you go.
I'm just learning, and he would say a dollar waiting on a dime.
Dollar waiting on a dime. Okay.
Yeah, so it may be regional expression, but I figure, when I was a kid, you get a dozen donuts for $1. So about a dime.
Yeah. Well, and you know, my dad's travels around the world and around the country in his Air Force career. You know, he was from one coast to the other, mostly in the heartland, but he was on both coasts as well at some point in time, and so he could have picked that up from almost anywhere. I was actually born right there at the Air Force Base by you, so in your backyard.
Oh, McConnell. Huh?
Yeah. Now I only lived. They tell me that I only lived in Wichita for about 11 or 12 days, and then we were on our way to Biggs Air Force Base in El Paso. So anyway,
well, you're an honorary Wichita.
Honorary. I am a Kansan, and I'm an honorary. There you go. I appreciate it. Tony, let me ask you this: you guys had a little bit of weather this week.
Oh man, I'm picking chunks of shingles out of the lawn.
Really?
And trying to place them in place. My roof's probably about 18 years old. It's a nice roof. I mean, it's a good roof.
Right.
But I've been repairing as I find them. Unfortunately, I got impatient and put a little smaller piece into a spot where a chunk blew off, and then I found the bigger chunk on the far side of the yard. So now I have to pull that other one up and put that one back in.
Yeah. Now, when you put those back on, are you sealing them down? Are you using a roofing adhesive to seal those down?
I'm actually using a plumber's adhesive.
Okay.
My favorite of all time.
Yeah, the thing
I built birdhouses with that stuff and set them out and they just last for years and years with the wood shingles. And so it's flexible and it's water resistant. Well, obviously waterproof.
Yeah, the thing thing you want to be careful of, and of course on an 18, 20-year-old roof, it's not going to matter for a whole lot longer, but the thing you want to be careful of is when you put that adhesive underneath a shingle, you want that to be a very, very small dab of adhesive to where when you push that shingle down, it should spread out to about the size of a quarter. If you put more adhesive than that on, it will definitely blister and come through the face of that shingle pretty short order. So something to be careful of.
Oh, very good advice. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Tony,
From one Air Force brat to another, I surely appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you.
Tony, because you answered the trivia question correctly, you get a choice of books from Scott's library.
Yeah, if you'd like the Raving Fans, or you'd like the Coaching Habit, if you've got any younger folks around or people that you mentor and try to help through life, the Coaching Habit is a great book. It's gives you a lot of ideas and thoughts about how to help them solve their own problems instead of trying to be the answer to everyone else's problems. So that's a great book. Raving Fans is what we built our company around delivering, and that's a great book as well. So if you'll just let us know which of those, if you'd like one of those, we'll get it off in the mail to you on Monday morning.
All right. So, Tony, I'm going to attempt to send you back to Radio Randy, and he's going to attempt to answer the phone again.
Hey, Tony, one more question. How high winds did you have?
We got up around 80.
Okay, that's what I had. I got a report of 82. I just didn't know if that was valid or not.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't have any hail around Wichita, is that right?
Well, it rained pretty heavy for just a little while.
Okay, but
nothing flood worthy or anything like that.
But the big hail was up around Emporia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I live on 2 acres. Just over 2 acres, and I have 50 mature elm trees. So guess what I do every day? Get the chainsaw out, get the snippers, get the wheelbarrow. I spend about 3 hours a day.
Well, you kind of got your little built-in exercise routine there, keeping all the organic material off your roof and out of your yard, and that works great, Tony. We appreciate you calling, sir. Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, great show. I appreciate your show.
Okay.
Thanks. There you go.
Merry Christmas.
And we also have Jerry, a longtime listener, Jerry, on the phone. Hello, Jerry. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, gentlemen. Just getting my Saturday plans going for work, and I hope that things go well with you in the coming weeks for the holiday and so forth.
Well, we do too. Thank you.
Looking forward to this little bit slower week or two, Jerry. I can tell you that.
Do you have big plans, Jerry?
No. I will be working on the holiday weekend. A combination of, actually quite a bit of it will be at your fine donating company of WW Steel.
Oh,
You hear that?
how about that?
What a small world. So
My goodness.
Jerry's company basically provides security.
Okay.
And that's one of Jerry's assignments,
Wow.
is relieving the owners and taking over responsibility there at WW Steel. So,
How about that?
small world, isn't it, Jerry?
Yeah, it is, and because that's what I do. And then also the situation where I work, I'm volunteer at the zoo, same concept. One of their peoples there at WW also is the husband of one of the primary people I deal with in my volunteer work, which is kind of a small world there too. So with the holidays like Thanksgiving holiday and Christmas holiday, because WW always gives their workers fine days off that they certainly deserve, then our company takes over, so we have long hours. So I end up usually working 12-hour days on those days, so that those fine people at WW can take the time off with their families, and then we cover for the client to make sure that nothing goes wrong at the plant.
Well, and your bank account relishes those assignments, Jerry, so.
Well, yeah, it balances the books a little bit and helps out.
Yeah, I tell you what, we've got with Christmas and New Year's being on a Saturday, kind of a strange, So we had set up originally as a company to have Monday and Friday off, so that everybody'd have a nice. And somebody came to me and said, hey, it might work better for me to have Thursday and Friday. Would you mind? And I really don't care.
Yeah.
So basically, and I don't even care if they do Thursday, Friday, one holiday, and Friday, Monday, the second one. So
Yeah.
we're going to have two nice 4-day weekends for our folks, and that's going to be a good time for them. Let them get some rest and be ready to really get into the new year. Now, New Year for a lot of folks, as you guys know, doesn't really start until second or third week of January.
Right.
I'm going to tell you, that's not the way it will be around McRoof. Our new year will start on January the 3rd, and we will be pedal to the metal, because we have got a lot of ground to cover. A lot of new folks I told you about, people coming in. So a lot of shadowing, a lot of training, a lot of stuff going on there. We kind of go through this every year of trying to get it a little bit better, constant improvement, small steps.
Right.
Well, we're going to take some big steps come January the 3rd. And so we're going to have people off for 2 4-day weekends, and then so it'll be January the 4th, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So January the 4th,
well,
on Tuesday.
that's still all
Jerry,
right.
what else is going on, man?
Well, I'm dealing with the fact that my SUV was crunched in a intersection accident, and yes, I do blame the other driver, but for good reason. And so I'm dealing with that, and so just that and long hours working for those holidays, but it all is for the benefit of the greater community, and that's always what is important.
Well, we appreciate, I know your volunteer work's important to you and the things that you do, and we appreciate you, Jerry. We love having you as a listener and a longtime caller and friend to the show, and I just want to Merry Christmas to you, and if there's anything that I can do for you personally, you just let me know, my friend, okay?
I appreciate that greatly, and you gentlemen have a great holiday time, and I'll keep the situation safe.
All right. Thank you, Jerry.
Jerry,
Take
we'll
care,
talk to you in 2022. And with that, we'll take our next break, and we'll be back for the third half of the show after we do a little business. I want to remind you, I'm Rick Allen Lippert. He's Restoration Specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. Retro Radio Randy is answering the phones at 405-656-5868, and we'll be taking your calls when we come back I'd like you to know that this is the McRoof Radio Network.
Rick, what's that phone number for the Generator Super Center of Oklahoma?
Well, I have two of them here.
Okay, all right.
In Oklahoma City, it's 405-341-0341. And in Tulsa, 918-500-7173.
Now that 3410341, that sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, that would be your old Faith Electric number.
Okay, Larry, our good buddy at Faith Electric. So why should people call the Generator Super Center of Oklahoma?
Well, because they're the state's largest Generac generator dealer.
Generac generators, folks. You know that's the brand that Rick and I advocate and push. We think it's the best generator in the business. Take care of your home, your office, your lake house, whatever it is that you need taken care of. Now, remember, we've told you that Generac seems to be, there's a little bit of an allocation or a little bit of a distribution backlog there with them, like there is with so many things in our post-COVID or in our COVID world. I shouldn't say post-COVID, in our COVID world. So if you want to get that Generac generator at your place before spring storm season, you better get on the stick, okay? Give them a call at 405-341-0341 in Oklahoma City, or in Tulsa at 918-500-7173. Tell them that Rick and Scott sent you.
Honoring America's Warriors is an Oklahoma City-based nonprofit that provides military honors and ceremonies, service dogs for disabled veterans, and multiple activities and events for the veteran and their family. When Honoring America's Warriors was established, our first sponsor and supporter was McRoof. Now, years later, McRoof and the McCullum family continue to provide financial support to Honoring America's Warriors' important programs. To learn more about our mission, go to honoringamericaswarriors.org. Go to honoringamericaswarriors.org today.
I'm Dustin Holtz, and I am McRoof. We're looking for the best talent in the roofing and restoration industries to join our team of solutions specialists. Hear what our customers have to say. Here's Johnny.
They were such pleasant young men, set my mind at ease. So thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
Now here's John.
My hat's off to McRoof for making that happen when nobody else would touch it. You really made a difference in our lives.
And then Dean.
You really know your roofing business and you do quality work. But what sets you apart from other roofers is the people. You treated us just like family.
Want to sell shingles? Go work for another roofer. Want to change people's lives by providing quality solutions? Come join our team. Email me at dustin.holt@mcroof.us. dustin.holt@mcroof.us.
I'm Scotty McCollum, and I am McRoof. The qualities that every McRoof team member possesses are attention to detail, integrity, and a commitment to be an expert in our field. The goal of every McRoof project is to restore a home or business to the fullest extent, and in the process, we try to create a relationship as well as lasting peace of mind. We're not happy if you're not happy.
Replacement done right. McRoof.us, 855-766-3405. And Home Repair McRoof Style back on the air for the third half of the show. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. We're live in studio with restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCullum. Retro Radio Randy answering the phones when you call 405-656-5868. It's last call for your call. Do you have a home repair project that has you bumfuzzled, maybe flummoxed even? Well, give us a call, Scott.
We haven't had a bumfuzzler in a while.
We have not. So you folks have to have something going on out there. You got to get something fixed before the holiday shows up. So give us a call, and I'll bet Scott can help you out. Obscure historical trivia. On this date in 1966, CBS broadcast the first airing of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. 1966. Also on CBS on this date in 1989 was the I Love Lucy Christmas episode shown for the first time in 30 years. I remember seeing it the first time around. And then, Scott gives me good-hearted grief about putting so much Beatles trivia in here. No Beatles trivia today, but they're good friends, the Rolling Stones. This is Keith Richards' 78th birthday and his 38th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah. How
That's what you
about
call
that?
a double dip.
Yeah. And for those of you still smoking out there, just know that every cigarette that you smoke gives Keith Richards another 7 minutes of life.
Do what?
I don't know, something. Maybe it's every cigarette you don't smoke gives Keith Richards another 7 minutes. I don't know what it is. I forgot what I read. Okay, so you talked about the next two Saturdays being Christmas Day and New Year's Day. I'd like to tell you and everyone else out there that I say we in the royal sense, I will be here next Saturday as well as New Year's Day. Next Saturday will be a special Home Repair McRoof style in that we won't be taking any calls, but I do have some special programming that I'm going to bring in. I have written and recorded some radio plays featuring my grandchildren.
Great.
My wife has a radio show on another station in Oklahoma City, and we started doing this to put on her show on the program closest to Christmas, and we're doing that again this year. We're actually recording a new one on Monday, and so I'll be running that one. Okay. That one is called A Friend or Two.
Okay.
It's about a couple of little girls who happen to be 9-year-old twins.
Oh, can't imagine how you came up with that.
And they're volunteering at the animal shelter during the holidays. And, of course, there's a mean kid there who makes life difficult. But it does have a happy, uplifting ending. And then I'm also going to run one we did a couple of years ago called Who Cares About Christmas?
Okay.
And it's a group of kids, in this case, again, played by my granddaughters, but also by the sons of local Oklahoma City celebrity Lucas Ross, who is on TV here and plays banjo and performs around town a lot. He plays grumpy old Mr. Somebody. I forgot his name now. And he doesn't care about Christmas. And we learned because it's Christmas Eve is his birthday. And he's never had a birthday party. I wonder how that story resolves.
Okay.
And the kids are out caroling, and he wants them to get off of my lawn.
Modern day Scrooge.
Yeah.
I could see Lucas being a Scrooge.
Oh, man, he does a great job.
Lucas does a great job at anything he does.
So anyway, I'm running those two shows.
Okay.
And
I'll have a little holiday message for our friends and listeners, and we'll have a little special music for them.
Yep. So that's what we have coming up next week. New Year's Day, I think I'm probably just going to pull some excerpts of some calls that we've had or some particularly interesting moments from the past year, and just cobble something together for New Year's Day. Yeah. Unless you want to devote your day and sacrifice football games and come in and...
I'll be here on New Year's. I'm not going anywhere. If you want to do a show on New Year's, we'll do a show on New Year's.
I'm an old
If
school.
you're going to be here anyway, there's no reason for me not to be here.
Okay, all right. So we'll both be here on New Year's Day.
Okay, so we'll do that.
All right.
Anyway, all right.
Good deal. So once again, last call for your call, 405-656-5868.
Now, I've got some advice that I really want to talk to people about since we had a late season hail event through a lot of our listing area.
Okay, stand by just a second.
Okay.
Hey, Randy, Stormy. Yeah, there we go. Now we can officially talk about storms.
Okay, so this is after the storm?
After the storm.
All right, well, Tony led us into this, and Tony's already doing what we talk about all the time, which he says he does it as this is his daily routine. Right. I guess if you have however many elms he says he has, you got to do that. So,
right. 50. He said he had 50.
Is that right? Okay, well, walk outside and look around and see all the stuff that's amiss around your property. So anyway, Tony's already walked us through that kind of what you need to do after a storm to do that initial evaluation. We need to get all that organic material off the roof, out of the valleys, that kind of thing. And then he's obviously looking for all of his missing shingles and taking care of his roof, okay? A lot of you aren't comfortable doing that yourself, so you need to call someone who you trust to do that. But the thing that I really want to talk to you about after a huge hailstorm through parts of Kansas last week. And then, of course, we all know about just the horrible, horrific weather that we had on East, and with the tornadoes, the tragic loss of life and things like that. But one of the things, folks, that we talk about all the time, and I don't want you to be in a situation where you need a new roof and you do not give due consideration to the concept of a Class 4 impact-resistant shingle or roof covering of some type. Okay? And Class 4 is that rating that the insurance companies look for to potentially give you a discount or a lower price on your homeowners or your business owners' insurance policies. This is what's called a 2-inch steel ball test, where a 2-inch steel ball is dropped twice from 20 feet through a cylinder onto the exact same spot on a shingle mat, and it does not fracture, deform that shingle. Okay.
This is a real standardized test.
That is a standardized test. It's UL 2218. It's a standard for the industry, okay? But what I want to talk to you about are the best performing roof systems that I see out there, all right? And obviously, as a CertainTeed-only contractor, I'm going to talk to you about CertainTeed products that I think you need to ask your contractor about. If your contractor kind of poo-poos these things or doesn't want to get into details with you, maybe you ought to give me a call and let me walk you through what CertainTeed's products have to offer. So number one is going to be the Climate Flex, the landmark Climate Flex product. Modified SBS, we've talked about SBS, modified asphalt polymer, basically rubbery, okay? So that it's going to absorb the impacts of that severe hail. The other product is our Climate Flex Northgate. Two different products, two different looks, okay? So it's really just what is the look that you're wanting would determine which one of those products that you'd want to entertain. Those are what we would call your traditional, your architectural or dimensional shingles.
Okay.
What you'd be used to seeing on any roof, all right? From there, we're going to go and we're going to look at some of the specialty products. We're going to look at a Belmont IR, okay, which is going to be what we call a slate look shingle, okay, that's going to give you that performance. It's not appropriate for every style and type of home,
right?
But if it's appropriate for your home, I think it's a default shingle for me as a company. That's it. It is a great shingle.
Yes, it is.
Carriage House is a shingle that's appropriate on certain types of architecture. Certain style belongs maybe on a craftsman house, belongs on a lot of old style churches. Cape Cod, it's a scalloped shingle.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a traditional shingle. It's a scalloped shingle. That's a great shingle. The Presidential IR is a presidential shake. It's a shake look. Beautiful Class 4 impact-resistant performance from any of those CertainTeed products. From there, you need to look at 26-gauge steel products or 24 gauge steel products. This could be an R panel, a U panel, a tough rib. It could be a snap lock, which is a simulated standing seam panel, or it could be a true standing seam panel. Okay. From there, you go into what's called architectural metals, where you can look at all of the steel shingles. They look like tile. They look like slate. They look like shake. Just mentioned, we just got done installing a boral stone-coated steel pine crest, okay, which is a shake look shingle on a roof. Beautiful roof. And then you've got your synthetics, you've got your Da Vinci's, and you've got your F-Waves and things like that. So there are products out there that will give you performance that will cost you more on the front end, but that I believe are true value for you long term. These products come with warranties, for wind and hail that are at the high end of what's available in the marketplace. If you have a hail event or a huge wind event, the chances of you having to replace that roof again compared to a standard architectural shingle that your neighbors put on their house, because that's what the insurance company paid for, are very, very slim. Okay, so look at it from the standpoint of long-term benefits. We've got at the low end of what I just talked to you about, which is the Climate Flex Landmark in Northgate. We've got shingles in the Norman, Oklahoma area that we put on last year, that we put on this spring after the first hailstorm, and have been through the second hailstorm now, and have absolutely no damage, no issue whatsoever. The only things having to be done, replace a little bit of metal, replace a few hip and ridge caps, and that's it.
Yeah.
These people they're not incurring another deductible. They're not having to go through another claim with their insurance company, and they're certainly not having to replace their roof again. Okay, so it's just very important that you look at it, at least ask the questions and get educated about what Class 4 impact resistance can do for you. Evaluate from the standpoint of long-term value rather than price, and I think that's going to lead you in the direction that's going to best serve you as a consumer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Speaking of consumer, you have consumer tips available.
We do have.
And it's actually consumer tips at McRoof.us.
There you go.
Very easy to get these. Consumer tips at McRoof.us.
And little Carly jumps right on those and gets you a response if somebody asks something that she doesn't have in her little library her little cache that I've given her.
Yeah.
Then she'll hot-foot it over to my desk and ask me what she should tell you, and she takes care of it. So, yeah, that's a great thing. Now, if we've got just a second, I want to tell all those folks out there who are business owners that have commercial properties, all of the things we talked about with Class 4 impact resistant, that's available to you in commercial roofing systems too. It's not the way that everyone is going to show you to do your commercial roof, because it's going to cost more money. Okay? They're going to show you what I call the cheap ways to do your roof, because they don't know how to sell value. If you're in a commercial roof system, you're in a flat roof membrane system, you have to have a cover board or a DINS deck or something like that. There are plies that are available to go on that, membranes that are Class 4 impact rated. And then even in our coating systems, I can do a coating on a roof, and I can come back and spread granules on top of that coating to the point that I've created a Class 4 impact resistant coating system.
Wow.
So you just need to ask people the questions. If they don't know how to tell you how to accomplish something better for you, then excuse them and call somebody else. Call me. 6405-600-5587, and I'm available to answer questions for you. I don't care where you live.
All right, so as we start to wrap up, we're going to leave everyone with some Dad's wisdom.
All right, and before I get to Dad's wisdom, Joe Thompson, if you're listening, give me a call. I've got a question for you. Okay, Dad's wisdom for today. 3 things, son, that you can control.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what they are?
I do. Go ahead.
What are they?
Attitude, effort, and bladder.
And the older I get, the less of the latter.
I resemble that remark. This has been episode number 196 of Home Repair McRoof Style on the McRoof Radio Network. I'm Rick Ellen Lippert. He's restoration specialist and Hall of
Randy
Fame
did a super job.
remodeler. Scott McCullum, Retro Radio. Randy, thank you so much. I'll be here next week with some special radio plays. Scott and I will join you again on New Year's Day.
Merry Christmas, everyone.